A large asteroid the size of the Eiffel Tower is rapidly heading towards our Earth at a speed even faster than a bullet fired from a gun, and when it gets close to Earth, it will pass right between our satellites and come extremely close to Earth. Seriously, we're not talking about a scene from some sci-fi movie here. This is going to be a real event. Not too far from now, in just a few years, this asteroid will come, and it has its own name, which you should probably remember once again. Apophis. But the danger we face from this asteroid, how much of a real threat will it actually be? Is this asteroid really going to collide with our Earth? And if yes, then how much damage will it actually cause us? Could this be like that great destruction which wiped out the dinosaurs from the Earth millions of years ago? And the most important question is, if we know so much about it, then what exactly are our scientists doing to save us from this massive disaster? Since its discovery in 2004, this asteroid was named Apophis after the Egyptian god of chaos and destruction, which in some ways suits this asteroid too. This asteroid has always been like a warning for us, that even though space may look completely calm, the reality is that we live in such a cosmic region where our survival is just a matter of luck. We are surrounded by dangers that can wipe us out in an instant, but what if the threat of Apophis also becomes real? In today's video, we will learn about this disaster coming in 2029 in complete detail. What is Apophis? Apophis, whose official name is 99,942, Apophis is an asteroid that is classified as a NEO, meaning near-Earth object. This massive space rock is about 370 meters in diameter. In terms of height, it's about as tall as the Eiffel Tower, and its weight is an astonishing 20 million tons. If you compare it, it's like gathering all the skyscrapers in a city together to make one giant skyscraper. And that huge chunk, which is heading towards Earth at about 25,000 miles per hour, is Apophis. In 2004, astronomers at Kitt Peak National Observatory in Arizona discovered it. Since then, Apophis has become the most closely studied and monitored asteroid in history. But why? Because the astronomers' initial observations indicated that this asteroid had about a 2.7% chance of colliding with Earth in 2029, and that's why the entire scientific community was shaken. However, after that, many more studies were conducted on this asteroid, which ruled out the possibility of it colliding with Earth in 2029. But even after that, Apophis still remains a serious danger for us. The danger of it colliding with Earth has been averted, but even now, its path in space passes very close to our planet, where even a slight change in its orbit could completely alter its path, which could increase the chances of it colliding with Earth again in the future. If you look at it, there are countless asteroids in space right now, but among them, Apophis scares us the most. That's because it has the potential to bring destruction to Earth. We can't predict its future trajectories, which is why it's very important to keep an eye on it. And the most important thing is that it's not just an asteroid, but actually the largest near-Earth object in Earth's vicinity, and its future and our future are somehow connected. The 2029 close approach, April 13th, 2029, mark this date in your calendars. Because on this very day, Apophis is going to make a close approach to Earth, and this approach will be extremely close. In the context of space, close means just barely passing by, and I really mean it. On that day, Apophis will pass by Earth at a distance of 31,000 kilometers. This distance is so small that it will pass through the region where many satellites are located. This event will be so amazing that it will be visible from many parts of the world, including several regions in Europe, Africa, and Asia. This asteroid can even be seen passing through the night sky with the naked eye. You can imagine how thrilling it would would be to see a rocky piece as big as a skyscraper passing over your head, but it would also be scary. But the good news for us is that scientists have already ruled out an impact in 2029, but the bad news is that a close approach in 2029 is certain. And this event will alter Apophis's future orbit in such a way that predicting its orbit will become next to impossible. When this asteroid comes close to Earth, Earth's gravity will pull it towards itself, causing a slight change in its trajectory. And scientists believe that this slight change could cause it to collide with our Earth in the future. Maybe in 2036 or in its later close approaches, although the chances of impact in 2039 are almost negligible. Still, this asteroid will continue to remain on the radar of scientific communities, because even if the chances are low, the situations that could arise from it cannot be ignored under any circumstances. Apophis is going to be the asteroid that will pass closest to Earth in recorded history, and for scientists, this will be a huge opportunity to study this asteroid from such a close distance. But in a way, this close approach is a reminder of how fragile our existence in the cosmos is. What if Apophis actually hit Earth? Let's talk about the worst case scenario. If Apophis actually collided with Earth, if this really happened, the impact would release about 1,200 megatons of energy. For comparison, the atomic bomb dropped on Hiroshima was only able to release 15 kilotons of energy. This means that the impact of Apophis would be equal to the power of 80,000 Hiroshima bombs. If Apophis collides with the Earth's surface, entire cities will be destroyed. Everything within a 50 to 100 kilometer radius will be instantly wiped out. Buildings, infrastructure, and even the landscape will fall victim to this impact. The force of the impact will be so great that earthquake tremors will be felt all over the Earth, and even volcanoes could be seen erupting. Not only that, if Apophis collides with the ocean, a massive tsunami will be lying in wait to swallow the entire coastline. The shock wave from this collision will be felt in all the oceans of the Earth. The waves formed at the impact site will be hundreds of meters high, crashing into the coastline with unimaginable force. If we compare the magnitude of this event to historical impacts, the Chicxulub asteroid, which wiped out the dinosaurs about 66 million years ago, was much larger than Apophis. It was a much larger asteroid than Apophis. Apophis does not have the power to wipe out all of human civilization, but the impact site and the surrounding areas. The destruction at the impact site and in the surrounding areas will be so great that we have neither seen it before nor can we even imagine it. The true scale of that devastation shakes us all. The impact it will have on the whole world will be very dangerous. The Earth's atmosphere will be filled with dust and debris, which will completely block the sunlight coming to the surface. Without sunlight, our Earth could experience a short-term cooling effect similar to a nuclear winter, and this is not a good sign for humans. Trees, plants, and vegetation will start dying without sunlight, and without crops, humans will have very limited options for survival. Apart from food shortages and starvation, the damage to the environment, economy, and human life would be unimaginable. Thankfully, this isn't the plot of a Hollywood movie where people helplessly wait for the impact. Our human civilization has been preparing to deal with such asteroid impacts for a long time. NASA's Planetary Defense Coordination Office is at the forefront of tracking such hazardous NEOs, near-Earth objects, so that we can develop better strategies to deal with them. NASA has been continuously tracking Apophis since its discovery thanks to advanced technology. Today, we have a clear idea of this asteroid's trajectory. We have known about it for decades, and tracking it is just the beginning. NASA is working on technology that will deflect this asteroid before it can collide with Earth. The double asteroid redirect test, or DART, is one such project where a spacecraft is crashed into an asteroid to try to change its orbit. And fortunately, the results will make you happy. In fact, NASA has successfully managed to make a slight change in the orbit of an asteroid named Dimorphos by targeting it. Apart from NASA, other space agencies like the European Space Agency are also working on similar projects. Overall, we are aware of the dangers and damage that can be caused by asteroids, and our goal is to protect our Earth from any cosmic threat. Of course, to truly be prepared for such threats, governments and ordinary citizens will also have to be involved. How will governments react at that time? What will the evacuation plans be? If no one is able to do anything, then where to go in that situation, where to hide, and how to bring life back on track after the impact? All of this should be part of our planning. Could we survive an Apophis impact? If you think about it, the very idea of this asteroid colliding is terrifying. But when it comes to facing such events, we need time. Our modern technology has given us the power that our ancestors could only dream of. But we also have to look at the other side of the coin. Let's be real, can we really face Apophis? At the local level, there's no doubt that the impact will be devastating. The entire surrounding area will be immediately destroyed, but even then, the loss of life and property will depend on where the asteroid impacts. If it hits a desert or an empty place where not many people live, then of course, in that case, there won't be much damage. But if it hits right in the middle of a city, then early warning systems and evacuation plans will become extremely crucial. But if we know the impact site in advance, we can manage things properly. But one thing is certain, rebuilding cities after the impact will be very difficult for us. It will take years, if not decades, and many cities will completely disappear from the world map. The infrastructure will be destroyed and the economic loss may never be recovered. But humanity has faced many catastrophic events before: earthquakes, tsunamis, nuclear disasters, and many other natural disasters. We have always learned to make a new beginning, and one day we will surely find a way to recover from this asteroid impact as well. Why should we be concerned, even if the risk is very low? So, should we really be worried about Apophis? And on top of that, there is no chance of it colliding, so the answer is yes, and I'll tell you why. Space is unpredictable. Although astronomers have calculated that Apophis will not collide with Earth in 2029, but the close approaches that are going to happen in the future, like in 2036 and after that, its orbit or trajectory cannot be predicted. Even a slight change in its trajectory can change the entire future of Earth. Apart from this, Apophis is not the only asteroid we should be worried about. There could be many such asteroids in space right now that are a direct threat to Earth, but we haven't been able to find them yet. At the very least, Apophis can help us prepare to deal with such threats. In 2013, a meteor exploded in Chelyabinsk, Russia, which shocked everyone. After all, a meteor enters our atmosphere and no one even gets a hint about it. That meteor was much smaller than Apophis, but still, because of it, buildings in several cities were damaged and about 1,500 people were injured. Do you know what the worst part of this event was? We couldn't even detect that danger until it was too late. That's why it's important that we are always prepared to deal with any danger at any time. Remember, Apophis is not the type of space asteroid that will destroy Earth or wipe out humanity. But we never know when or from where a disaster might come our way. The good thing is that we are prepared, whether it's Apophis or any other disaster, and that's what makes us humans the most remarkable creatures on this planet. It's because of questions that we humans become curious and start trying to find their answers. Some questions are such that we can actually see them through to the end, meaning we find their answers clearly. But some questions force us to think. There are some questions like these that still seem like mysteries to us humans. I mean, we humans live here on this Earth. What is our purpose in living here, or what is the purpose of our lives? If we are made to live here on Earth, then why do the other planets exist? Let's assume that our solar system works for the stability of our Earth and to keep our lives going. So what's the purpose of this endless universe? The expanse of this universe goes beyond our limits, but everything that exists in this universe has its own limits. We live only for a limited time and can travel only at a limited speed. So even if a person, a human, or the entire human civilization wants to, they cannot understand the full expanse of this universe, then why does it even exist? There is a theory about aliens. Those who believe in it say that we are not alone in this universe. In fact, life is common. This entire universe is filled with life. This whole universe is not empty or meaningless. Then questions arise here as well. If extraterrestrials or aliens really do exist in this universe, why do we never see them? Or why don't we find any evidence of them? However, throughout history, there have been several incidents related to aliens where it seems that extraterrestrials really do exist. And not only that, they have even come to our Earth and are among us. For example, the Roswell UFO incident, where an unknown flying saucer suddenly crashes on Earth. And some people even believe that there were actually aliens in that flying saucer who came to Earth for some purpose. Apart from this, history is full of instances where we find signs of extraterrestrials, but where exactly are these extraterrestrials? This question is still a challenge for our science today. In October 2017, something shaped like a cigar. An asteroid passes close to our sun, but this time the surprising thing was that this asteroid was not from our solar system. Its trajectory made it absolutely clear that this was an interstellar object. That object soon disappears from our sight, but after some time, it comes into our view again. And this time, the scientists were absolutely astonished when they saw that this object was accelerating. That means its speed was continuously increasing. Despite the gravitational pull of our sun, that object keeps accelerating, and it is estimated that one day it will say goodbye to our solar system. Here, some scientists say that this object is an alien spaceship. First of all, the structure of Oumuamua is such that it looks like an elongated spaceship. However, we couldn't do anything more than study Oumuamua from Earth. It disappeared right before our eyes, but all we could do was watch. A similar incident happened in August 2019 when scientists detected a comet named 2E Borisov. Here too, scientists were surprised that this comet was also not from our solar system. But this time too, we could only study this comet from a distance, and this comet also just passed by like that. The surprising thing is that two interstellar objects come toward us from outside our solar system and just pass by like that. And due to the lack of human technology, we can't even study them properly. Who knows if they were really alien spaceships or just strange-looking celestial objects. But here, we definitely saw our technological limitations. It's really surprising that within just 2 years, we noticed two interstellar objects, although before this, such sightings were very rare. This was the first time we saw two interstellar objects in such a short period, and who knows, maybe the next object is coming soon too. Those unknown interstellar objects are flying past us, or maybe even spying on us. We'll only find out about this when we intercept those objects. We'll study them up close, land on them, collect their samples, and analyze them. Only then will it become clear what those things actually are. That's why we can't miss the upcoming opportunity. And maybe that's the reason why a team of scientists has come up with the idea of building an interstellar interceptor. This will be a spacecraft that can go near any asteroid or comet, fly by it, or even land on it to interact with it. Although this idea sounds like science fiction, maybe it's also something our times demand. Because if we get any clue related to aliens, then maybe that will be our biggest achievement. And who knows, we might find something that could change the future of our human race entirely. Although we can do this because we have accomplished so many missions like Lucy, OSIRIS-REx, Rosetta, and Hayabusa 2, where we have sent a spacecraft to study an asteroid. But here, The problem with this approach is that by the time we detect an interstellar object with telescopes, designing a spacecraft according to that, building it, and then launching it to chase the object, by the time we do all these things, we are already too late. Actually, we have very little time to study them. By the time we launch the spacecraft, that interstellar object will have gone far beyond our reach with all its secrets, and we won't even be able to catch it. On November 3, 2022, a 17-page paper was published on archive.org. It says that space agencies should build an interstellar interceptor spacecraft right now, which would be capable of carrying out almost all kinds of intercepts. And that spacecraft should be launched and parked in an orbit far from Earth, so that whenever needed, it can quickly head towards its target. He further says that Earth's Lagrange points are the best options for parking such a spacecraft. In space, Lagrange points are those places where the gravitational pull of the Earth and the Sun cancel each other out. That means if we place a spacecraft here, it will remain stable. Since it is not under any major gravitational influence, its orbit will not change. And in this way, we can save the fuel that would be spent to keep any spacecraft in orbit. And believe me, this is an excellent way to save fuel. That's why the James Webb Space Telescope has been parked at Earth's L2 Lagrange point. The team of scientists also said that from the Lagrange point, that spacecraft will be able to cover a wide range in our solar system. The idea is that the interceptor will wait in low power mode for any alien object or interstellar object to arrive. This wait could last for a few years or even a few decades. And when the time comes, just like Hanumanji, it will be reminded of its powers and it will carry out its mission. Just like how a lion waits in ambush. Interstellar objects pass by without coming into view, so in such cases, we also need to work on our telescopes, like the Vera C. Rubin Observatory, which is in Chile and is still under construction, but it is estimated that it will become operational by 2024. With its arrival, it is estimated that we will be able to detect 10 interstellar objects every year. Scientists say that if we succeed in making an interceptor, there is a 95% chance that interstellar objects like Oumuamua will appear before us again. But this time, we will intercept it and study it in depth, and we can achieve this feat within the next 10 years. This team of scientists has requested major space agencies like ESA and NASA to definitely work on such missions, because this is the right time when scientists have presented such a challenge before us for the future, and with telescopes that can monitor every inch of space coming soon, we can take advantage of them from here. That a spacecraft should first be sent around Earth, then Venus, then Jupiter, and then use a slingshot maneuver from Jupiter. So that the spacecraft can reach that object Oumuamua and study it. In the coming time, every inch of space will be monitored. If we talk about NASA has also made a similar plan. They also don't want to let Oumuamua just pass by like that. Not much information about that mission is available in the public domain, but it is possible that by the end of this decade, NASA might launch such a mission whose target will be Oumuamua. Well, yes, it might be that asking questions and searching for their answers is the very reason for our survival. Tick tick, this clock is telling us that time is slipping out of our hands. We have only 24 hours left. A massive asteroid is headed for Earth. A very big city, densely populated. The asteroid is rapidly approaching Earth while people on Earth are completely unaware of this impending danger, busy with their daily routines. The asteroid is 6 kilometers in diameter, and when it collides, the destruction it will cause will be catastrophic. But what will the situation be like on Earth in those last 24 hours before the impact? How will governments respond to this sudden disaster? Will scientists be able to stop it? And what will happen to ordinary people? When they realize that there is no way to escape now, they will have to face it. This is not a drill. In this video, we will present to you the terrifying picture of those final moments 24 hours before an asteroid collides with Earth. We are about to experience that panic, fear, and ultimate destruction up close. At the end of this video, ask yourself, if this scenario were real, how would you spend your last day? Asteroids have struck Earth before. At the end, ask yourself how it began. If this 24-hour impact scenario were real, how would you spend your day? We had been trying to track the big asteroid for weeks, but that asteroid was hidden behind the moon. But suddenly, one night, the radars catch that lurking asteroid. The asteroid had come so close that the scientists were shocked to see it. What the calculations revealed was only destruction and terror. It's going to collide directly with Earth in 24 hours. The asteroid is so big that its impact will cause destruction on a large scale. This asteroid is going to hit New York in America. Scientists immediately inform government agencies about this. NASA, the European Space Agency, ISRO, and CNSA. Besides them, the United Nations also springs into action. But only 24 hours are left before the collision. In such a situation, there is no time left to launch a mission to deflect or destroy it, because the asteroid has come so close to Earth that such a mission won't be able to stop it, and a mission can't be launched in such a hurry either. The reality becomes clearer to everyone. This asteroid will definitely collide with Earth and no one can stop it. Our technology, our intelligence all became useless. Within minutes of the asteroid impact being confirmed, this warning is delivered to all the leaders of the world. For New York and for more than half of the world's population, these 24 hours are going to be the last 24 hours of their lives. That's why an emergency message is broadcast to the general public. The message was simple, but also terrifying. A city-killer giant asteroid is going to collide with Earth in the next 24 hours. If you can evacuate, do it quickly. Go to a safe place. They can't believe what they heard. Take shelter and prepare for impact. Soon, people started thinking about this and were terrified after hearing it. They couldn't believe what they just heard. How could something like this even happen? People were thinking that in this infinite universe, Earth is such a tiny target for an asteroid. How could this coincidence even happen? But the truth was absolutely clear to everyone. And as this news kept spreading, an atmosphere of fear spread throughout the whole world. People going to the office, people stepping out of their homes, first started calling home to confirm this news and began asking about the well-being of their family members. There was so little time that everyone was stuck away from home, wherever they happened to be. They started coming towards the city quickly so that they could take their family members and leave the city. The same message was broadcast by other countries around the world to their people. There was an atmosphere of panic everywhere. There was a strange silence in the sky. People were getting scared by how calm the sky looked. Governments were organizing evacuations. But in the impact zone, it's not possible to save everyone. Here, everyone has to make quick decisions. Time is running out. Either leave that place and look for shelter somewhere far away, or everywhere you look, there's a countdown going on. With the asteroid approaching, governments have already sprung into action. Orders have been given to evacuate after seeing it falling in the impact zone. But due to its impact, the city is filled with chaos and confusion. Highways have turned into parking lots 18 hours ago, but because of this, there's chaos, confusion, and disorder all over the city. Highways look like parking lots. Some people want to go home to pick up their loved ones, while others are trying to flee the city. Millions of people are stuck on the highways. Public transportation is in a terrible state, The crowds are out of control and millions are rushing towards the airports, but because the seats are full, the airports have also been shut down. Now it's clear that there isn't enough time to evacuate everyone. This increases people's anger. Everyone wants to save themselves and their families, and riots are also seen in many places. The national military is deployed for evacuation, but even they get nervous seeing the scale of this operation. Emergency services are used to their limits to maintain law and order in the city, but the fear is so intense that riots are seen in many places. This time, the government warns people outside the impact zone as well. Whoever is outside the impact zone should quickly move to a safe place. Look for underground bunkers, because after the impact, you will face the shockwave. Staying in houses is not safe because the shockwave will destroy everything. A tsunami warning has been issued for people living in coastal areas. Meanwhile, world leaders are urging people to remain calm, but the damage from this impact won't be limited to just the impact site. The entire globe is going to be affected. The scenes show politicians and scientists holding urgent meetings, and worst of all, but now, there's less than 18 hours left. Time is slipping away. But the American government wants to save a few people in its most secure military bases and bunkers. So the people who will give human civilization a new future can be saved from this disaster. In this way, experts from every field are selected. People are airlifted and brought to special bunkers built to survive such disasters. Special instructions are given that only those people should be brought in, and except for children, no other family members from India are allowed to be brought. People are terrified after realizing the seriousness of the situation. They have realized the seriousness of the situation. Awareness of the gravity of the situation has spread throughout the country like wildfire. People in the world's most populous country have left their homes and taken to the streets in search of safe places. 12 hours before the impact, the whole world is either sitting in front of the TV or struggling on the streets, and everyone is scared. This fear has gripped the entire world in such a situation. As news outlets are covering this upcoming disaster, scientists are constantly making detailed predictions about what could be the worst outcome and which places might be safe. The population is shown a map of the projected impact zone on TV, and people are being given live updates as the entire event unfolds and the impact approaches Earth. Meanwhile, the asteroid is 30,000 kilometers away and approaching at high speed. When it collides, it will release billions of times more energy than any atomic bomb ever detonated. People react in different ways as they see the end of the world approaching. It will release billions of times more energy than the biggest atomic bomb. People faced with this disaster leave their homes and search for safe places, while some gather and pray that their God will perform a miracle and save the Earth. At the same time, there are some who simply refuse to believe that the world will be destroyed by the next day. They think that the scientists or the governments have made some mistake. Meanwhile, some people accept the coming disaster and start preparing themselves to face the end. Social media becomes the digital diary of the last few hours of this world. People post their final goodbyes to their friends, relatives, and the whole world. Some people post to encourage others. Everywhere you look, the internet is flooded with people live streaming it. In this terrible disaster, people leave their jobs and businesses to spend the last moments of their lives with their loved ones. The stock market crashed as soon as this news came out. Companies in just one day. As time passes across the planet, tensions start to build up around the world. Some countries that are outside the impact zone come forward to provide shelter and help people, but deep down, everyone knows these are their last efforts. Whether their lives or anyone else's are saved or not, they have to try. 6 hours before the impact, only 6 hours are left until the impact. Situation. Is there any way to survive now? It's getting even more intense. Many people who couldn't get out of the city have accepted that now there's no way to survive. Those who couldn't evacuate from the impact zone prepare themselves for what awaits them there. Families gather together in their homes, they make confessions and forget old grievances, wanting to live those last moments to the fullest. They try to comfort each other, and people are coming together in this way. People go out to watch the asteroid not from their homes, but from rooftops and open fields, hoping that their final moments will be peaceful. At the same time, some people, even knowing that survival is difficult, still hide in underground shelters and basements. They try to reassure their families and prepare to face it. On this day, 1901 opened his basement for the chaos. Many stories of kindness and compassion also started to emerge as well. Those last neighbors who always... Communities come together to face this disaster together. Now this world is no longer the same as it was about 18 hours ago. Because of this panic, in many places people were also seen breaking the law and order and looting. People were looting big stores, shops and warehouses. The threat was going to be so severe that the police force seemed weak in front of such a large crowd. They couldn't do anything except watch the chaos unfold on the streets. Meanwhile, in the last few hours, religious leaders encouraged people to face the disaster with courage. Philosophers, scientists, thinkers, and major religious leaders shared their thoughts about life and debated the meaning and purpose of life. Debates also started about the universe and the human civilization within it. People remember their lives, recall their good and bad deeds, and want to surrender themselves to God. But for some, this time is filled with fear, anxiety, and panic. Seeing death approach, they have become frantic. Meanwhile, scientists in labs all over the world are still working tirelessly, calculating and analyzing. They are searching for some last-minute variable that could turn the whole situation around, something that could give them a ray of hope. Is it not possible that in the final moments, the asteroid might change its path? The scientists are also hoping for the same, but there was less than 6 hours left, and the ticking of the clock was dashing everyone's hopes. The ray of hope was now fading. 1 hour before the impact, with just 1 hour left until the collision, that gigantic asteroid was now visible in the sky, and with every minute, its size kept increasing. It is clearly visible, very bright, and rapidly approaching the Earth. The cameras start showing live footage of the approaching asteroid. Scientists explain the asteroid's progress in real time. Everyone knows what will happen in the coming hour. The soldiers on duty, scientists, police, TV reporters, and other ordinary people all are about to die in this disaster. But still, our soldiers, scientists, police, TV reporters, and other ordinary people are fulfilling their duties even though they are about to die in this disaster. For humanity, so that mankind can rise again, they are fully prepared to sacrifice their lives. In this final hour, a strange silence spreads over the impact site area. Birds start flying in the sky as if they know the end is near, and animals begin to leave the forests and run towards the cities. In the field, people gather to see the asteroid. They look up at the sky. Some people, out of fear, hold each other's hands. The children are scared and anxious. Some people stand silently, while others want to spend their final moments at home with their families. There is one thing common among everyone. They all know this will happen, and everyone is ready for a massive explosion. People all over the world are watching the event live. Everyone knows that after the impact, a shockwave will come and the debris from the Earth and the asteroid will rain down from the sky like death, engulfing the whole world. Some scientists have already predicted a global impact winter where dust, soil, and the explosion's aftermath will block the sunlight coming from the sun for months. The debris will block the sunlight coming from the sun for months or even years. This will destroy crops. Without sunlight, the entire ecosystem will collapse. In this final hour, a final statement is being issued for the people. In just a few minutes, we will face our greatest fear. The asteroid is about to strike. Do not panic. Hide wherever you can. Do not waste time looking for a safe place. After the impact, more than half of us will die. We pray that after this impact, we will rebuild the world from scratch. We are all prepared for this impact. In some places, religious leaders are gathering people together for a final prayer and seeking God's blessings. Meanwhile, some people are gathering with their loved ones, spending those final moments together. The collision happens, and finally, the asteroid crashes into the Earth with unimaginable force. The sky is filled with a blinding light. And then a massive explosion, so loud that people nearby must have lost consciousness and died as soon as they heard it. Those who were at the impact site didn't even have time to think or react. The human brain's reaction time is about 100 to 120 milliseconds, but before that, they were instantly vaporized. The energy released from this impact was something we humans had never experienced before, had ever seen before. It was tearing through the ground as it moved forward. It was the shockwave, which destroyed everything in its path for hundreds of kilometers. Buildings collapsed, forests were completely wiped out, and on the ground, there was nothing but scenes of devastation. The shockwave was moving at supersonic speed, which means it reached distant cities even before the sound of the impact could be heard. There was no one left to witness this terrifying scene. Everyone had already fallen victim to that asteroid. After a while, when the intensity of the shockwave decreased, that's when the real destruction began. From the impact site, pieces of debris from the Earth and the asteroid were thrown up into the sky. This was hot lava, which was now about to rain down on cities, homes, and the people hiding there. The entire sky was filled with dust and dirt, and fire spread through the forests, causing animals to burn to death. Humans could not withstand this destruction. Everyone nearby was caught in this disaster. The impact was so powerful that massive earthquakes were felt all over the earth. Because of the earthquake in the ocean, the waves grew in size. And now, waves hundreds of meters high started moving forward to swallow the cities. The collision happened at one place, but its effects were seen all over the world. Sunlight couldn't reach the Earth's surface for years, causing the temperature to drop drastically. A global impact winter had set in. Crops started failing, and the surviving animals began to die one by one. But the humans who managed to survive this destruction, their future was left hanging in the balance. Now, living on this earth was going to be very difficult. But the question is, what actually happened after the impact? Did humans manage to survive this impact? You'll find the answer in upcoming episodes. While today's scenario may seem like science fiction, asteroid impacts are real. Ask yourself this question: if you were in these circumstances, what would you do? Do share your reaction with us in the comment section below. If you like this video, make sure to like it and share it with your friends. For more such informative videos, subscribe to the channel and enable the bell notification. Friends, we'll meet soon with another new informative video like this. Until then, stay curious, be happy, and goodbye.